when I dropped the top 3 dog of the night candidates for you guys for last week's UFC Vegas 90 card, we had Cynthia Calvillo locked in for you guys as the dog of the night to go out there and pull off the upset over Piera Rodriguez. Unfortunately, Cynthia Calvillo misses weight and, by my understanding, has also been cut from the UFC. She was on a 5-fight losing streak, but I thought she had a great matchup ahead of her against Piera Rodriguez. That did not end up coming to fruition. So we had to make a quick pivot. And I ended up pivoting to somebody that actually was not one of the 3 candidates that you had, even though I did have a play on Cesar Almeida and Chris Curtis, who were both worthy dogs of taking shots on, and I did play them, and we obviously went 1-on-1 there. But my actual dog of the night play that I gave to the Patreon folks was Chepe Mariscal. I wagered the most on him out of all the underdogs that I wagered on, and he came through for us over Morgan Charrier. Very close fight. Could have gone either way. I was very happy to be on the winning side there and be able to cash him. Mariscal is a dog, a guy that's always going to go out there and fight for your money. Still got to worry about his durability ever so slightly, but very happy with what he was able to establish. And I really think that last little flurry in the 3rd round where he was able to get some position against Charrier, land some big shots, I think that probably is what ended up swinging it in his favor. So last weekend, we go 2-3 on dog of the night plays. Trying to recall off the top of my head who the other dog was that cashed for us. I believe it was on Cage Warriors or LFA. Can't recall it off the top of my head, but regardless, we go 2-3 for minus 0.51 units, minus 10% ROI. And that now brings our record on the year to 16-23 for minus 0.91 units, pretty much in the black there, minus 2% ROI. Would have been nice to get one of those other underdogs. I think one of the dogs that I actually had was Ante D'Elia for PFL. Pretty much tore his groin 30 seconds into that fight, so didn't really give us a fighting chance to try to cash that ticket there, but I would have loved to see that fight play out. Hopefully that's a rematch that we end up getting later on in whether it's the regular season or even in the playoffs, but I would like to see that fight play out a little bit more rather than D'Elia injuring himself right off the bat. All right, I got 3 more dog of the night candidates for UFC 300 for you guys. Reminder, I don't always wager on all 3 of these. Only one of these can be the dog of the night play. I've already let the Patreon folks know, and if you want to know who it is, check out the Patreon page, Lock of the Night, in the description below. Otherwise, let me know in the comment section who you guys are feeling that could potentially go out there and pull off the upset. There's a ton of great underdogs on this UFC 300 card in my opinion, but these are the 3 that I would consider making my dog of the night play. So let's kick it off. First one up is going to be Renato Moicano at plus 200 money. Moicano going up against Jalen Turner. Obviously, Turner has the striking advantage here, has some good power. He could potentially put Moicano out early. However, we've seen Turner struggle against guys that are able to take him into the grappling realm. And had there been 10 or 15 more seconds in that Dan Hooker fight in the 2nd round, Hooker possibly could have secured that rear naked choke and gotten the tap from Turner that night. But Moicano, lethal BJJ black belt, and we know that he can close the distance here with his own striking and eventually get that body lock, drag Jalen Turner to the mat, and from there do solid work. And I think he should be able to open up in a submission opportunity for himself and take that on home with him. I was very surprised to see the line as wide as it is here. People are completely disregarding Renato Moicano's striking, and I get it. Turner coming off a devastating knockout victory over Bobby Green. Renato Moicano taking a bit of a shit kicking from Drew Dober in the 2nd round, but still showing the ability to battle back from adversity and win that 3rd round to win the judge's decision. Moicano is a tough out and a plus 200 worth a shot in my opinion. The second dog of the night play is going to be Sodiq Yusuff coming in at plus 120, taking on Diego Lopez, who seems to be the apple of everybody's eye over the last couple of fights. I get it. He had a spirited effort against Movsar Evloev in his short notice UFC debut. He's followed that up with 2 solid wins over Pat Sabatini and Gavin Tucker. But he's not that far removed from breaking against guys like Joe Anderson Brito and coming up short against a regional journeyman. He's had some solid first-round finishes, but what does it look like when he's forced to go deeper into matchups? And obviously, you have the grappling advantage here against Yusuff, but I think Yusuff's striking advantage and his power should allow him to go out there and possibly find the knockout here against maybe overconfident and over-aggressive Diego Lopez. I do like what we get from Sodiq Yusuff in this spot. I haven't usually been a big fan of backing him in the past because of his average striking output and pace, but I think that this is a type of matchup that we'll see him learn the lessons from his main event loss to Edson Barboza late last year and come back even stronger and potentially find that chin of Diego Lopez to put him clean out, which is why he's the second dog of the night candidate that I have. The final candidate is going to be Max Holloway, coming in at plus 140 as he takes on Justin Gaethje. Now, I know that there's a lot of love for Justin Gaethje out there, and rightfully so. You got Holloway coming up a division, and the last time he did so against Dustin Poirier in 2019 didn't really work out in his favor, but it seems like Max Holloway has grown a lot from that fight and is taking this very, very seriously. We know his pace, his pressure, his output, his volume, his combination striking is all elite, but it's his ability to turn it up in the latter half of fights that makes him so much more dangerous, and I think that's going to cause Justin Gaethje some issues. I think we'll see this be competitive through the first 2.5 rounds, but I think from there we'll see Holloway really start to touch up Justin Gaethje, really start to rattle him and frustrate him, and they could potentially open up a TKO opportunity for Holloway, just as Holloway has been able to do against past opponents, but just as we've seen Gaethje succumb to against guys like Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier later on in their matchups. So I do like Max Holloway as an underdog in this spot. To get a fighter of his caliber at plus money, I think is a no-brainer spot to take a shot on. So give me Max Holloway as the third and final dog of the night candidate. Again, only one of these will get the majority of my liking and the official moniker of dog of the night for UFC 300. So make sure you guys check out the link in the description below. Otherwise, drop a comment and let me know who you guys think should be the dog of the night. And we'll see and revisit it, who ends up becoming right next week. Make sure you guys check it out. All right, I will see you guys. Actually, I dropped a boatload of content today. The PFL breakdown should already be out, as well as my top 3 lock of the night candidates. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the the quick picks for UFC 300. See you guys then. Peace.